Hey guys, Claire Chancellor here. In today's episode, I want to talk about something that's a little bit taboo. That's all about entities and attachments. The truth is that I deal with entities and attachments with clients a lot of the time. I don't put it on my website so much, but it's a topic that I know very, very well. When somebody's on their spiritual awakening, they tend to have had a chapter of their life where they've conformed to the mainstream. They're living that 9 to 5, living to everybody else's shoulds, and yet not getting that sense of fulfillment. So when they start to question, is there more to life? The doors can open to that spiritual awakening where you start to have that self-awareness, learn about your soul's journey, learn about energy and all of the fun things that comes with beliefs and raising your consciousness and being in that more connected space. But of course, in that pure love and light energy, it can't just be all about that. We are in a world of polarity. So on one hand, we're here on earth with the beautiful love and light. And on the other hand, we also have that dark, shadowy energy. When you're moving towards that light energy, it's brilliant because you become a manifester of more light. The more that you raise your frequency, the more light and high vibe frequency you generate, which is beautiful to, again, raise the frequency for everybody else, to amplify your healing abilities, your intuition, and your manifesting abilities. So basically, the more you move into that high vibe state of appreciation, love, joy, receiving, then the better it is for everybody else. But of course, when you've been in the mainstream in that old chapter of your life, there would have been that point of view of scarcity, fear, guilt, all of the limiting emotions that really pull on your energy. And that's important to keep notice of, but I'm going to come back to that. So when we think about stepping into your spiritual awakening, raising your frequency, creating that light and that beautiful energy, it's important to remember that the dark energy, the really sinister, malicious kind of energy, can't make light. They can't make energy, but what they do is they steal the light, they steal the energy. And they do that in such a manipulative, gaslighty kind of way that anytime they bring a sensitive soul into the state of fear, it's that fear energy that almost becomes like a battery to what the dark energy wants. So what they do, the dark energy, is they will create attachments and entities and nightmares and all sorts of different problems that puts you into that fear state. And they're basically like a parasite, will just attach and drain your energy. Now, over time, if you don't work on that, it will create problems like overthinking, sleeping problems, feeling the emotional ups and downs, depression, feeling tired, feeling fatigued, possibly feeling suicidal, poor concentration, just maybe even overeating, and that impulsive kind of anger. Now, that's all by design by them because they want to take and channel your energy. That's what they thrive on. And so when you start to lower your frequency, you start to get more involved in the drama and the chaos. And again, this is one of the best reasons why you must do that inner work, to remove yourself out of the drama, the chaos, the competition, to then feel empowered and to know who you are, separate from separate from the ego and the scarcity thinking. Now, if we take this conversation one step further about the entities and how they attach, all you have to really do is go through some level of trauma, maybe like a car accident or a divorce or something that really gets your body into a state of shock where your soul momentarily, like microseconds, almost disassociates and leaves the body to go get healing and access from the higher self to pour in down into your aura. And it's that microsecond where you've kind of left the body that leaves you susceptible for that darker energy to attach. Now, it's not, it won't be noticeable right up front, but it'll start to pull you down into, that limited point of view. This can also be for appropriate to also express for people who are natural empaths or natural psychics or natural rescuers and people pleasers. Like, so much of your energy you give to others so that they get back up on their feet. And again, you can make yourself vulnerable for, as I've said, the attachments to link in. So again, this is why something like coaching and healing, that self-development, is so important, to come back to who you are, what your values are, and living in alignment to your purpose. Now, when I'm working with clients who can be, beautiful healers, kinesiologists, network spinal practitioners, thinking of all of the beautiful healers that I've worked with, even they are susceptible to this stuff. If there's been a hint of them doing burnout or pushing themselves to show up in their business, and they give and overextend themselves just a little bit too much without replenishing their energy, without doing the self-care for them, again, they can become a little bit susceptible to that attachment. So, who are these entities? Well, when you think about your soul's journey here on earth, your soul will naturally go to the light and you will raise your frequency back to the spirit world. However, some souls will, just like the movies, become earthbound, and they get stuck in a bit of a limbo between time. If they stay there too long, they can definitely feel lost and drop their energy and go really heavy duty into that ghostly like energy where they're trapped to the idea that they have unresolved issues and they're really stuck in that heavy, limited energy. Whereas you can also have those energies and the entities and attachments that are the negative version of angels, like archons and things, where they have never actually been here on earth, but they want the energy, the light that is here on earth. They want to tap into that. And so you can have earthbound attachments, you can have multi-dimensional attachments, you can have really nasty kind of beings that, again, pull on your energy, hold you down into like those slave codes. It's quite debilitating when that's happening. There's that heaviness, there's that depletion, and it's like, yuck. So tracking the entities is an interesting art form within itself. I have had clients who have had entities attached to them where they're just like an earthbound spirit, but that earthbound spirit has been in that limbo, in that lost arena for so long that they too have attachments to them. So it's like this dominoes effect where you're not just cutting the cords and doing the energy work to release this earthbound spirit, but all of the other portals and connections linked to it. So it can become quite complicated, but thankfully, when you know what you're doing to resolve it, it can definitely shift. When you approach a client who has those entity attachments, it's such a relief for them when they come out the other side. It's like that breath of fresh air that they've never had or they haven't had for such a long time. So, what would we do to shift that energy? Well, first you have to be willing and ready to look at it because it can be quite confronting, right? You're like, entities, attachments, it's invisible. How do I know I'm not making this up? Your body's not making it up. That's why you're experiencing your personal power just being drained as the symptoms keep showing themselves. Again, that overthinking, the nightmares, the fatigue, even women with hormone problems. There's definitely red flags that this is an issue that needs to be resolved. My approach is going to be different to other shamans, other healers, other people who work with entities, but I do know that my way works. What I like to do is to take that client back to a time, whether it's past lives or this lifetime, where this attachment attached to their energy. And there'll be a key moment because misery loves misery. So we're going back to a time where they wanted to escape, or there was this spike of fear, or there was a big deal issue. And it's just like, I just feel so miserable. And it's like they opened themselves up to more negativity to come into their world. So I'm going to go back to have a look at what's going on that would create that. An interesting side story is I had a client who was struggling with fertility. And when we explored that, yeah, there's this energy attachment and it's pulling on her energy. We went back into past lives and found out that she had lost a baby in a past life. And then that baby in that past life didn't actually cross over to the light or something of that nature. And the baby had been still attached to her signature frequency, still attached to her soul. And so she was still feeling the tug of the lack of connection, yet there was this connection. It was all very interesting. And so going back to past lives to bring that healing in meant that that earthbound spirit could release and she could breathe and connect to her current children and all the things. It was beautiful. So it's not always a big deal, sort of sinister, ugly thing that we could imagine from our nightmares. But basically, I'm going to go back to have a look at when did this energy attach? What was the weak link in the chain in their energy that caused them to come in? And then we can either have a conversation with that entity, why they've attached, why they chose who they chose, what's going on, and basically do some work to then call in Archangel Michael, take them to the light, cut cords, close portals, all the fancy stuff that I love to do. And once that energy has reset, once we bring in that healing and done some time stream work to bring in that balance back to somebody's life, then I know that they can breathe after that session and they will be showing up for their business and their family with a new sparkle in their eye. They will have a new lease on life and the possibilities. And I have heard somebody say that before a session, they were like in an anesthetic. They were just sort of in a bit of a limbo themselves. They were just so heavily drained and fatigued. And then after the session, they came out like post surgery. It was like, oh, okay, wow, that thing's been fixed and I'm now healed and have the opportunity to move forward with that vibrant energy. So I've seen people have a shift where it's just like a click of a fingers. It's like, oh, wow, I'm opening my eyes to a whole new world, basically. And I've seen people, once this energy has shifted, not only to their business and their family, or they'll attract in relationships or friends at a different frequency where life wasn't working before and now they're back on their path. So if you think about your own journey where you've been caught in the spiral of drama, chaos, competition, and then to get a holiday from that, it's a relief, right? Now, some of these entities, and I'll make other videos on that, but some of these entities uh, don't need me to resolve it. Some of these entities just need you to be like having fun on the back of a motorbike or on a motorbike or at the beach where there's that breeze and the healing energy in the air, or being in the forest to get that energy wash per se, to release some of those airbound kind of, it's a little bit like a virus in the air. Sometimes you just need to get out of that space and to change the setting, to have that salt in the air, or to have that mother nature in the forest to release all of that heaviness. Sometimes you don't always need a healer to do this. So sometimes it is about the self-care piece to charge your own batteries. And of course, if it's more sinister, yes, you need somebody outside of the box that you're in to see the way out. So there are multiple options with that one. Now, if you're going to get entities cleared from you, then also ask the facilitator to clear your home, protect your home, breathable bubble of light over it and under it, and where you sleep, and even your car, maybe where you work. It's not just like burning sage. Love the sage. Enjoy burning that. Sage is quite an interesting topic. I can talk about that one, but the sage is almost like antiviral, antimicro, whatever the big word is, that the smoke in itself will clean the air. It will release some of the denser energy in your home. It definitely has a quality about it that will clean your home. However, if you've got an attachment, the sage won't work so well on specific types. So yeah, this isn't just crystals and sage, this is a lot more inner work that needs to be done, especially on your limiting beliefs that caused you to attract that in, caused you to be a target for it. So, yeah. Anyway, I feel like I am sharing an enormous amount of information, and hopefully it is helpful to hear a different perspective of a way you can access healing to free up your energy, to be able to step forward, have that big breath in, and to let all of that heaviness be in the past so that you're creating the future that you want to create. It's an unconventional topic, but it's definitely something that is becoming more mainstream and people are aware of it. When you've hit the bottom of the barrel and things aren't working and the mainstream solutions aren't working, we need to do something that's left of center to get you the results. And whether you think that this is way too creative and, am I making this up? My question to you is, what's more delusional, holding onto the anxiety and the panic and the problems, or do you just give something a go that can potentially shift the energy, working energy with energy? It makes sense to me. So hopefully that's given you a different perspective. I'm Claire Chancellor from Be Your Purpose Coaching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.